what's your initial assessment now the trade period is all over?
Yeah, it was a pretty quiet trade period, probably in comparison to previous seasons. I know last year, in the last couple of days, we had a fair bit going on, and a lot of phone calls and finalising some deals. So compared to this year, it was pretty quiet come the end. So we're able to go and get Callum Coleman-Jones from Richmond on Friday, which was our main target. We identified that ruck position going forward as a real need for us, and especially a player that can go forward and market as well. So able to get him done on Friday, and then yesterday I was just whether the Tristan Cherry deal was going to go through or not, and we retain our player. So we're more than happy with that situation as well.
Where's that at, Brady? He was someone that wanted to leave. He's got 1 year obviously left on his contract. How do you go about, I guess, repairing that relationship, or maybe that's probably a lack of a better word, but how do you keep him now, considering you wanted to go now?
Yeah, Mark, there's clearly no need to repair a relationship because it wasn't broken. So I was pretty clear with Tristan the whole way along, understood that he felt that he could get more opportunity at another club. He certainly wasn't looking to leave because of any ill feeling towards the club or his teammates. You know, he's a very popular member of our team. He's a 22-year-old, fourth year in ruckman. We'll put a lot of time into. We just weren't going to give him away for the level that the Saints were prepared to give. It was as simple as that in the end. And as soon as the trade didn't go down at 7:31, I called him straight away and said, mate, we clearly rate you higher than the other team do. So we'll get back to pre-season and things will be business as usual. He might cop a bit of crap for a week or two, but that's how footy clubs work. We weren't prepared to let Tristan go at that price.
Do you look to re-sign him nice and early to extend him out?
Oh, we'll go through that sort of thing at list management, Mark. We contracted him for 2 years 12 months ago. So, we would have gave him a 1 year contract if we probably felt that he wasn't at the level and we need to see more. So we gave him a 2 year contract. As I said, he's 4 years into his career. He's 22. He wants to play footy. We understand that. But we want him to play footy at our club. And we feel that with Todd turning 34 next season, he's been unbelievable for our club. We bring Callum in as a 22-year-old with Tristan at 22. We've got Jacob Edwards as a 19-year-old coming through with Charlie Comben as a 20-year-old key forward that can play in the ruck. So we value the ruck space. We play 2 rucks every week. We've done it all year. And we need that amount of players on our list to cover that position, given we played 2 each week. So if we were to let Tristan go, we'd obviously got to replace him. And then going forward, you've got to start looking at more rucks around that age group. So, he's too valuable for us to just let him go for a swap of late picks. It just wasn't a consideration for us.
Callum Coleman-Jones, ruckman or forward?
Yeah, both, Rob. We got him as a ruckman, so we're going to put a lot of time into his ruck craft. We think the combination that he can have with Todd or with Tristan is going to be a really good combination for us. The beauty about Callum, we've seen him go forward and market. He's done it since he was 16. So we've seen a lot of footy of him. We think we can really develop his ruck craft though, and moving forward for the next 5 to 10 years, we think he's going to play a lot of ruck time for us.
And did any of the pick swaps for pick 1 tempt you?
Not really. No, I think what's been reported makes it sound a lot more appealing than what the deals actually were, and they were spitball deals as well. So, yeah, when you start to pull the deal apart, and when you can attribute a player to your pick compared to just a number, it makes it a lot different. So we can compare pick 1 to a player compared to a number for next year. and we don't know where that number is going to be. So, yeah, bird in the hand, obviously very appealing for us. And, you know, we've never had pick one in the history of the draft. Every club's had one, we haven't. So here's an opportunity for us to bring a player in who's hopefully going to play a lot of football for our club. He's going to be exciting. He's going to be part of a young group that's going to play a lot of footy together and hopefully have some success in the not too distant future.
Brady, can you commit here and now? Is Jason Horne-Francis your man?
Well, he's clearly right up the top, isn't he, Mark? Like with Nick Dacos and Sam Darcy throughout the year, and there's a couple others that are very appealing as well up that pointy end. You know, I think what you saw from Jason, especially in that last month of footy in the SANFL, we've seen that for 2 years at SANFL level. So going into this season, he was well and truly up the top, and he's had a terrific year. So that's all I'll say. But yeah, you can't put many better performances together than what Jason Horne-Francis has done over the last couple of years.
Is he a real difference maker, Brad?
Sorry, John.
Sorry, John.
So I was going to say, is he a real difference maker? Like he can really sort of set the club alight in some ways.
Well, yeah, his attributes are pretty special. He's got the ability to win the ball at ground level and in the air. He's great at clearance. His ground level works really good. He can run. He's got speed, and he's competitive. So he's bringing a lot of attributes that we look for in players. And I think the other thing with Jason is he's very flexible with where he can play. He can play inside. He can play outside. He can play forward. Saw him back at SANFL level during the mid part of the season as well. So, you know, if we are to bring him into the club, we're bringing in a player that's got all the attributes we look for. And yeah, he's got the ability, as we probably saw in that preliminary final, to change the game.
Brady, how do you see the defensive mix now with Robbie's departure?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. We obviously had Robbie out for a half of the season when he had his surgery earlier in the year. So we did get a look at a different type of backline at the start of the year. Obviously, we had Jack Zeeble back, which we trialled over pre-season, and then he ended up coming in the top three in the best and fairest. We had a great year down there. I think the thing that a lot of people probably forget is that we bought Aidan Corr in as a free agent 12 months ago, and we only got 2 games out of him, and he was injured for the rest of the year. So he's up and running. He's moving really well. So we're really excited by pretty much getting a new recruit to the club in Aidan. And we think with the emergence of Ben Mackay over the last couple of years, he's a player that, you know, as a key defender, we can build our backline around. So those two, Josh Walker's been terrific for us since we got him as a delisted free agent as well. So we've got 3 genuine keys down there. And then we've got some flexibility with some players who can play a bit taller, and Aidan Bonner and Lockie Young and Jack Zeeble. So we think we're going to have a pretty flexible backline.
Just on there, Brady, you mentioned your club's never had pick one. Do you plan to bid on a Nick Dacos or a Darcy, or do you want pick one to be your man, the player you're getting?
Yeah, we'll run through that over the next couple of weeks, Anna. We obviously want to get through a trade period to start with, and over the next couple of weeks, our recruiting team will start crunching the numbers a lot more in terms of our order. I think the big part of the order probably for us will be around that 15 to 20 mark, with us holding pick 20. So, you know, the combination of different types of players we can bring in with 4 picks inside 47, which ends up probably being 4 picks inside 41 or 2, is, you know, pretty exciting for us, especially after we bought in 5 18-year-olds last year at the national draft. So we think we can bring in a really good nucleus of young talent over probably a 3-year period. From the Jack Marnie, Charlie Comben, Flynn Perez draft through to this year. We'll probably be the youngest squad in the competition, and that's why it's really important to have some of these experienced players in Ben Cunnington and Jack Zeeble and Josh Walker and and Todd Goldstein that really support our young guys.
You've not made the call yet on whether you look to match a bid or whether you just want to pick one.
No, as I said, we'll work through that in the next couple of weeks. Whoever we've got at pick one in the draft, we'll call their name out.
Where do you
Brady,
see
Todd
Zeebs on the
Goldstein.
ground, Brady? Oh,
Sorry,
Mike.
again then, mate.
I was just saying, where do you see Zeebs on the ground next year? There's probably a few younger defenders you want to get time into in the back line. So where are you looking at sort of his position coming into next year?
Yeah, we're really pleased with what Jack was able to provide us this year. Across half-back, he played 21 out of 22 games, come third in our best and fairest. Intercept mark, was able to play on certain types of forwards. So, yeah, we see him playing in the same role as he did this year. And we think with his ball use and bravery in defence and desperation, he's going to be an important player for us for the next couple of years at least. We signed him for 2 years.
Brady, just on Todd Goldstein, just another one looking back at the ruck discussion we had at the top of this. What do you see his role being next year? He obviously comes out of contract. He's getting a bit older. Do you start to transition someone like a Callum Coleman-Jones to be more of a 50-50 split there and get Goldie playing more forward? Or is the plan that he's still your number one man and it stays that way until it changes?
Yeah, the split's probably going to be different, Mark, compared to what it has been. Obviously, with Todd's ability to cover the ground and his durability over a number of years has been something that's been very appealing for us as a club. We've been able to play him 90-95% in the ruck sometimes. But obviously, since Nobes has come on board, he favours the 2-ruck model. The thing about Todd was he went forward and kicked goals this year when he was down there and took some really important marks for us and helped us get over the line a couple of times. So, that's the beauty about Todd as well. He can go forward. He's not a sort of ruckman that can only just play in the ruck. So I think the split will be a lot more even going forward. It was probably at times this year, it was probably anywhere from 75% still in the ruck. That'll reduce a bit more and we'll see him more forward.
Can he play on beyond next year? I know it's extremely early, Brady. You've just got through this year's trade period, but the way he's going, you mentioned his durability. He looks like a guy who could still play well beyond next year.
Yeah. Todd's he's certainly got that belief he can keep going for a number of years. So that's certainly there, and his belief in himself to keep performing at that level. The motivation is obviously still there, which can drop off at times with some players when they get to that type of age, but not with the big fella. He's highly motivated. He loves his footy, and time will tell how long he can play. But he's been an unbelievable player for our footy club, and I'm sure he's got that 300 game milestone in the back of his head as well.
Just on Ben Cunnington, Brady, we saw his emotional speech at the best and fairest count. Is he due back for the start of pre-season training, or he's still got a way to go before he can sort of resume full training, I guess? Yeah,
he's been in constant contact with Kevin White, our new head of performance, and he's travelling really well, Cunners. So, obviously did get quite emotional on the night. It's a terrific achievement to miss that many games and come second in the BNF. It obviously shows the quality of player he is, and I think it shows how our players value our footy club as well. Our club means so much to so many of our players, and I think that was in full view on best and fairest night. And there's comments around about he probably should look somewhere else, which is just some of the most ridiculous comments you'll ever see when you see that type of emotion from a player and how much a footy club means to some players.
So he's I know he's got bigger issues to worry about and the like. So is he due back on the track at some point over summer?
Yeah, he'll be back on December 5. He's doing parts of his program at the moment. Obviously, it's a bit of an integration for him. And our program's changed a bit as well, given we've got a new head of performance. So, we'll be slowly with him early days. But, prior to Christmas, he'll certainly be on the track and starting to get ready for 2022.